everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. The fact that you really sacrificed a few minutes out of your day to watch my content really does mean the world to me. And today we're going to be talking about the new Netflix release, Sentinelle. This is a perfectly serviceable revenge film. Does it ever hit the heights of the films like Punisher or Taken? I don't really believe so, but for only 1 hour 20 minutes, I definitely think you're going to be getting a rush out of this film. So Sentinelle is about an ex-French military combat soldier, and she has just experienced a traumatizing event and is forced to go home. And while she is home, her sister is attacked. And this film is ultimately about her trying to get her revenge on the attackee in order to basically get revenge for her sister. Now, this film, as I said, is perfectly serviceable, but its biggest issue is the revenge plot. For a film that's based entirely around revenge, I just didn't feel the need for revenge. Personally, as a viewer, the antagonist I had no strong feelings towards. I never once wanted him to get his throat ripped out and to be brutally murdered. Like when I watched The Punisher, I want the Punisher to punish his victims. And I never felt that while watching this movie. Sorry, I'm just busy editing my review right now, and I want to make something very clear. And I don't know if I necessarily said it in the best way possible. I found what he did to be incredibly despicable. Like, what he did was one of the grossest, worst things a human can do. I'm just saying, in regards to antagonist to protagonist relationships, I didn't feel like there was necessarily as much depth as there are in several other revenge films. I'm not saying the antagonist isn't an evil person. I'm not saying what he did isn't despicable. I'm just saying I felt like it just didn't have the depth or the emotion that other revenge films have. I hope I made that clear. That's not to say, though, that the action sequences aren't great. This film's highlights are its action sequences. The choreography is great. The action is intense. However, all of the scenes are incredibly short. And I think it might have something to do with the film's overall runtime. As I said earlier, this film is 1 hour, 20 minutes. That's actually incredibly short. I don't remember the last time I watched a film that short. That's less than an hour and a half. And that's including credits. It's a very short film. So I'm just going to do a short review, I guess. So I've mentioned the highlights. The action was definitely the biggest highlight for me. And the biggest drawback was the actual story plot, the actual revenge plot. I felt like that was seriously lacking. But there's a few other things I want to bring up. Something I really appreciated and I thought was very good from a character development point of view was the use of PTSD in this film. They never outwardly say this character has PTSD. But what they do is they show subtle hints in her mannerisms and how she perceives scenes and how she reacts to specific things that leads you to believe and to know that she's suffering from PTSD, from an incredibly hectic scene that happened in the opening of this movie. And that scene was my favorite scene in the whole movie. It was brilliantly shot. The tension was high. It was incredible. This film uses slow motion incredibly well. And that sequence was just great. There's a scene where this bomb goes off and it's all in slow motion. And as the shockwave goes out, we see this car flip. That was just the best scene in the movie. And there's also this scene where our protagonist is trying to make an escape. And she's jumping through this water and the water's busy flying up behind her in slow motion. It's just beautifully shot, beautifully edited, and very well done. I will now also say the color grading. They've definitely muted it. It feels incredibly dull, incredibly grey. Not as bad as Zack Snyder with Batman vs Superman or Man of Steel, but it's definitely not as vibrant, or the saturation isn't as high as real life. And I think that was a clever choice because this is a very dark, very gritty film. And the color grading definitely reflects that. So ultimately, guys, if you're in the mood for an action, thriller, revenge film, then I would say give it a watch, but be prepared to let the story disappoint you. Anyway, guys, that's my very short review on a very short movie. I hope you guys liked it. If you enjoyed it, give this video a like. Do not be afraid to subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again in another video.